Thank you. Welcome. South Williamsport, the middle of August, back to school supplies being purchased and families milking the last few days of summer. Right here, though, we open our arms to the world. We are reunited with the familiar scenery of central Pennsylvania. You have a Susquehanna River, you have the hills, and then ultimately you have two of the nicest Little League fields in the world. Come together.
That's it, it's all over. The biggest upset in the history of Little League.
Complete game for Monet Davis.
A walk-on to go to the Little League World Series.
This is an experience that half tradition meets a new moment.
That's a grand slam.
And the most fantastic dreams unfold. Welcome to the wonder of the Little League World Series.
It's over. It's over. Georgia wins it.
Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series. It's presented by T-Mobile. We certainly look forward to having Todd Frazier, Little League World Series, join us as we take a look at the division at a glance. You have 20 teams split evenly into two brackets, 10 from the United States, 10 international teams. Double elimination format with 6-inning games. The boys and girls are 10 to 12, and the field size is about 2/3 of the Major League Baseball dimensions that we're used to. It is that time again. Welcome, everyone. I'm Carl Ravitch. Delighted to be here. We are set to binge, watch, and broadcast baseball for the next 12 days. When you think about it, we are about to be taken on a ride like no other. The boys and girls are going to put on a show that is unique, and it's something we all look forward to. When you think about this event, too, this is now the 76th Little League World Series. Started with teams from Pennsylvania and New Jersey, but as the popularity of baseball grew, so too did the tournament. International teams arrived in 1957, and you can see the teams that have made it here. 20 of them, from as close as a Philadelphia suburb and as far as Australia, Japan, and the Czech Republic. As we get set for day one, here are the headlines heading into this double elimination tournament. Yes, the United States has won the last 4, including 2021 when only U.S. teams played. Randy Huth is back for the 3rd straight year with a team from Nolensville, headlined by Stella Weaver. She was dynamite in the regionals, on the mound, and at the plate. A historical milestone for the event. For the first time, a team from Cuba is participating. Cannot wait to meet these kids and see them play baseball. And we've seen many of these kids from Curacao. 5 of them were here last year and made it all the way to the title game. And of course, this upcoming Sunday, the major leaguers will be in town. The very popular Philadelphia Phillies making another playoff push will take on the Washington Nationals. That, of course, is our ESPN Sunday night baseball game. We are very ready for this to start. The kids are anxious to get together and get this thing going as well. A week from Sunday, we'll crown a champion. But the next 11 days leading up to that day are going to be memorable, exciting, and a whole bunch of fun. You have great players, you have great personalities, great sport, and great sportsmanship. We'll send it over to Volunteer, where our buddy Mike Monaco is set to call the international games. It's great to see you again, Mike. It's all yours.
Ravi, thank you so much. Great to see you, and here we go. One of the best sporting events of the entire year, an event as pure and joyful as anything you will find. With that, we say hello and thanks for joining us. Xavier Scruggs, Mike Monaco with you. Sebastian Salazar joins us in a moment. You're 76, as Ravi said. X, you've been here before. It never gets old.
Oh, this is the best because Little League is where you're introduced to the game, you develop into the game, and the sportsmanship you take away from the game is something that you'll value for the rest of your life. And this is the ultimate stage right here.
38 games over the next dozen days, as Ravi said. We start in the international bracket, Czech Republic and Panama on the leadoff spot.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this Czech Republic team because this is a team that beat the Netherlands twice to get here, and we understand the Netherlands is no joke. The big thing for me is that they're going to have to be prime on defense. That's got to be their focus. Don't make the mental mistakes on the field. And then you look at Panama, a team in which I think you got to keep your eye on Ian Corrales, the catcher of this team. He's a leader. He's one of those guys I got to work with yesterday in the building blocks. he's a special player.
He's got an unreal nickname as well. We'll tell you about that as we go along. We start with 20 teams. 2 Sundays from now, we've got a champion. This is day 1. Here's the menu. 4 games right here on ESPN over the next 8 hours. Come on back. The Little League World Series starts right after this. The Little League Baseball World Series on ESPN is presented by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. And in part by Sonic Small Classic Shakes, $1.99 all day. Yes, we say hello from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, down at Volunteer Stadium, getting set to go with Game 1 on day 1. This team from the Czech Republic, they're from Brno, more than 4,300 miles from Williamsport, the second largest city in the Czech Republic, and as a country, the Czech Republic here at the Little League World Series for just the 3rd time. Let's meet the kids from Brno.
Mé jméno je Dominik Liner a můj nejoblíbenější hráč je Bryce Harper. Mé jméno je David Sobotka a můj oblíbený tým je Los Angeles Dodgers.
Jmenuji se Krištof Šilar a můj oblíbený tým je San Diego Padres.
Já jsem Ondřej Šimánek a můj nejoblíbenější MLB hráč je Ellie De La Cruz. Moje jméno je Filip Staňka a můj nejoblíbenější sportovec je LeBron James.
Moje jméno je Štěpán Švec a můj nejoblíbenější baseballista je Mookie Betts.
Jmenuji se Ilja Kolomojec a můj nejoblíbenější tým je Pittsburgh Pirates. Jmenuji se Marian Košťál a můj nejoblíbenější hráč je Shohei Ohtani. Moje jméno je Václav Menčík a moje oblíbené jídlo je cheeseburger.
Jmenuji se Filip Žehourek a moje oblíbené jídlo je sushi.
Moje jméno je Aaron Ness a můj nejoblíbenější herec je Kevin Hart. Mé jméno je Denis Ondroušek a můj nejoblíbenější hráč je Fernando Tatis Jr.
Jmenuji se Dominik Vřesníček a moje nejoblíbenější jídlo jsou špagety.
You might remember the Czech Republic made a lot of noise a few months ago at the World Baseball Classic, and now the Little Leaguers here in Williamsport. And for more on that, we say hello to Sebastian Salazar.
Mike, great to be with you as always here at Williamsport and the Little League World Series. Now, you mentioned the Czech team that represented the country quite well at the World Baseball Classic earlier this year. What's interesting about that team is they were mostly homegrown, which means they hail from the relatively small baseball community that this Brno team comes from. In fact, I talked to Aaron Neznial, number 19 on the Little League Czech team. He told me he knows half the WBC players personally, and Martin Schneider, the ace pitcher on that team, actually spoke to this group a week before they left for regionals. He told the team, never give up. It's a good motto for a group that seems to know they might be outmatched, but Mike X, they don't really seem to mind that.
They sure don't. They've said we are small. We might not be the strongest team, but we're coming here to have some fun and try to grab some wins. And they go up against Panama, who starts things out here in Game 1 with Omar Vargas on the mound. They call him El Capi because he is the captain of this group.
Yes, he's one of the leaders. Watching him warm up today, you can tell that he's got a high-velocity fastball, but also it looks like he's got good command of his off-speed pitches. That slider looks like one that he'll be using a lot today.
Sounds like a Garrett Cole breakdown he got there. This guy is the ace, and we'll see how the Czech Republic stacks up as we get things started once again for the 76th time at the Little League World Series with strike one. It is so good to be here.
Yeah, and the weather is perfect. Excited to see the athleticism of all these young kids. That's one thing that's been on display all summer for them.
Krištof Šilar is the Czech Republic's pitcher, and he's in the leadoff spot for this team representing the region of Europe, Africa. Czech Republic team went 5-0 in that region tournament held in Poland a few weeks ago. Got 74 miles an hour there on that high velo fastball that you scouted from Omar Vargas. Perfect weather, perfect ball fields. As Ravi told you, so many of these youngsters so excited to see surfaces like this for the first time. And Vargas with a strikeout to get us going of Šilar atop a Czech Republic lineup that Like all the lineups here now we're seeing looks different. Little League this year enacted a continuous batting order. So it's not 1 through 9. It's everyone on the roster. In the Czech Republic's case, all 13 of them will bat before the lineup turns back over to the top. This is Filip Žohorek. And so that was designed to get everyone more at bats. Before, there was something called mandatory play, and that's still in effect, but it looks differently now. And you want to get everyone, not just one at bat if you can, but maybe a few.
Right, and I think that's an ultimate opportunity for guys to continue to develop. You know, if you're not getting the at-bats at this age, it's going to be hard for you to develop. So it's good to see that that's something that we have in place right now here at the Little League World Series as well.
There's no defensive requirement for how often you have to be on the field, or if you have to. So you can go with the 9 you want defensively, and you can sub freely as well. So we'll keep an eye on how the rule change impacts this year's iteration. 0-2 from Vargas, and he's got a couple of Ks right out of the gates as Ian Corrales caps the K. 2 up, 2 down for the Panama ace.
Yeah, Vargas with a really nice off-speed pitch here. You see the break on it. Big break, and I like what Corrales did. He got to this ball immediately, knowing it's a pass ball, got himself on the outside foul territory part of first base, and made a great throw down there.
These kids are so fundamentally sound. We say that every single year. All right, it brings up Dennis Androshek. And Omar Vargas has not thrown a ball. He's just 1 pitch above what would be required for an immaculate inning. We told you he is the captain of this group. Coaching staff said to us he is a 5-tool player, and he's living up to that early on here in the first.
Yeah, the cool thing is once you get to this stage now, a lot of these guys have that velo, more about the command of the velo and the off speed once you get here.
0-2. And the first ball from an apparently human Omar Vargas.
And you can imagine the nerves right now with the kids, a little bit nervous coming in that first game. If you can get away with having a clean inning, first inning, that settles a lot of those nerves and anxiousness down.
Vargas deals to Androshek, and he goes to the breaking ball again and strikes out the side. Hey, Rabbi told you, binge some baseball. 8 hours getting underway. Panama bats for the first time. Santiago de Veraguas, roughly 2,300 miles from Williamsport, the capital city of the province of Veraguas. Population, you see, about 90,000 or so. This country is here for the 2nd straight year, and let's meet the team from Panama.
Mi nombre es Aymar Lima y mi jugador favorito es Aaron George.
Mi nombre es Rubén Canto y mi equipo preferido son los Mets de Nueva York. Mi nombre es Francis Rodríguez y mi músico favorito es Michael Jackson.
Mi nombre es Alberto Donay de Grande y quiero ser ingeniero civil.
Mi nombre es Ian Corrales y mi equipo preferido es los Padres de San Diego.
Mi nombre es Lucas González y mi materia favorita es Ciencias Naturales.
Mi nombre es Isaac Vázquez y mi jugador preferido es Juan Soto.
Mi nombre es Edwin López y de grande quiero ser veterinario. Mi nombre es Sonny Guerra y mi jugador favorito es Mookie Betts. Mi nombre es Alan Rodríguez y mi emoji favorito es el emoji de la risa.
Mi nombre es Iker Sánchez, mi jugador favorito del Mundo Sosa.
Mi nombre es Ian Vargas y mi actor favorito es Adam Sandler.
Mi nombre es Nessin Santos y mi equipo favorito es los Yankees de Nueva York.
Mi nombre es Omar Vargas y mi actor favorito es Vin Diesel.
This was the first team to punch a ticket here to the Little League World Series all the way back in February. So they've had a long time to wait to actually see this in person and for real. And they will bat for the first time against the Czech Republic's starting pitcher, Krzysztof Szylar, the 12-year-old who their manager told us he is our #1 pitcher, and they roll with him out of the gates in game 1.
Yeah, excited to see what he has here today. The one thing you mentioned about them clinching back in February, this is their opportunity now to start playing against other teams, right? You got to think about how excited they are for that opportunity and not have to play against themselves over and over again.
You think about that for Team Panama. You clinch in February. The coaching staff gave them 15 days off to rest and to have fun and to celebrate. March 15th, they got back practicing. Major League season hadn't even started at that point. It was still a few weeks away. And now finally, Panama gets to play here in Williamsport. Francesc Rodriguez leads off against Shalar, who dots strike one. A reminder on the strike zone here at the Little League level. It's the space over home plate between the batter's armpits and the top of the knees when the batter is in a natural stance. Ball and a strike to Rodriguez.
It's always interesting to me early in these games, Mike, to see how aggressive the hitters will be, right? Will they be more disciplined about their strike zone, or are they going to try to be aggressive, try to get their swing off early? Every team kind of has a different approach with that.
If it were you with the emotions,
oh, Mike,
what do you think 12-year-old Xavier Scruggs
I would be swinging. I would be looking to go deep early.
Early biscuit watch?
Early.
Chopper left side. And from short, got him. Strong throw from Dennis Androshek to retire Rodriguez.
Love this play from Androshek, being able to come up, recognize he still had a little bit of time. This might be something they might look to challenge, but I still like his ability to get to his right, come through this baseball, make a very strong throw over to first base.
Panama was deliberating if it wanted to challenge or not. And of course, we do have video replay here at Little League, which was actually the first baseball organization to utilize video replay back in 2008 here at the Little League World Series. And you get 2 challenges. If we go to extras, you get 1 more. And if successful and you get it overturned, you do retain your challenge.
And this is interesting, too, because you think about, as a head coach, do I want to use my challenge on the first hitter of the game?
Very close. Do you think he is, in fact, safe?
Let me get another look here.
Ooh, I think it's going to be tough to overturn that.
Yeah, that's bang, bang right there.
Got him, right?
I think that's going to be tough to overturn, like you mentioned. I think it looked like to me that the ball was in the mitt before he got that cleat just on the base there.
Well, Francesc Rodriguez, the leadoff man for Team Panama, digging down the line, trying to get aboard with our game's would-be first base runner.
That's about as close as it gets there, too.
Well, you're in the hot seat as the analyst, so they're making it mighty difficult on you early on.
Well, the one thing I love about this is great stretch over there by Resnicek. It does a great job of being able to go and get that baseball. He didn't wait on it. You see him get it at a high point and kind of stretch that left leg out there. If he waits, that's an automatic safe.
Yeah, how about not just the throw from Androshek, but the stretch, to your point, from the 5'9" first baseman Dominik Resnicek, who their manager Arnaud Nesnial told us he's our biggest player, so it's a good target to have over there at first. How tall were you at 12 years old?
I was probably about his size.
Really?
I was one of those guys that people were questioning my birth certificate.
I still hope to be that tall one day.
You better keep dreaming.
Yeah, right? As we await the verdict here on the challenge from Panama, batting here in the bottom of the first. Again, it was called out at first base on the throw from Androshek.
I mean, the time that it's taken, it tells you extremely close play. From a defensive standpoint for Czech Republic, it's always good to kind of get that first one out of the way. I think that's one of those ones we talked about the nerves coming into this game. You kind of get a defensive play, whether you get the out or not, it's good to get those out of the way early.
And you see our umpiring crew here. So many of these umpires also do college games and high school games. These are among the most accomplished umpires you'll find. And then on top of that, they volunteer their time to Little League here. So really high-end umpires who we are so fortunate to have in the Little League game.
I just think that's too tough to overturn.
Well, I got a little more insight on the duration of this replay. They're having some technical difficulties downstairs, so I'm not certain that they have been able to see any or all of the replays so far.
That would be a problem.
If you have video review, yeah, that would be problematic.
Mike, I'm just looking at this field too, and how nice it is, and how cool it is for these young players to be able to play on a field like this. You think about being able to go out there and have no bad hops. You look at the outfield, it's pristine out there. We got a call.
Still out, the call at first. But you're right on the field. I mean, you just saw the design in the outfield and on the infield as well. It's spectacular.
It doesn't get much better than that.
All right, so that is the first out here in the bottom of the first. And Christoph Schalar ready to work now to the shortstop for Panama in the 2 spot, Ruben Cato. This guy's got one of the great nicknames as well. There was a local TV station down in Panama, RPC TV. They started calling him El Pimentoso, peppery, during the region tournament, and it stuck with teammates. And they've been calling him that ever since. He is, the coaches tell us, the spark plug of this team. Schalar's 1-1. 2 balls and a strike on El Pimentoso. Told you the long layoff for Panama coming out of the region tournament. They went 6-1 in the Panama region, which was held in the country back in February. Like you said, 12 teams spread across 3 different zones. And they had the battle to get here. Schalar's 2-2. On the ground to second. David Sobotka for the second out.
Nice job of Sobotka getting in front of that baseball there. That's one of those ones, came off the bat a little bit hot, was able to range to his right, get himself in a good position, keep that ball in front. That's the biggest thing for these infielders at this point, because the field is so small. You have to remember that balls getting by the second baseman and shortstop that are hit hard, they will get in the gaps. So keeping that ball in front is very important.
You said it right off the top, how important defense was, you thought, especially for this Czech Republic team. And up to the task early on here in the first.
Absolutely, because you think about now getting to this stage at the Little League World Series, you're playing against better competition, kids that can hit the ball a little bit harder, and just being, you know, focused on the fundamentals and making that routine play is so important in these games.
0-2 on Omar Vargas, Panama's pitcher, in the 3 spot in the lineup. We told you about his pedigree. His teammates told us he's their best player. He's also very mature and very poised. So perhaps ready for this stage. Races one into left field, a base hit, and Omar Vargas has the first hit here in Williamsport.
Well, this is something I'm always impressed with, the ability for these young players to be able to stay back on off speed. You see it's a curveball over the middle of the plate, gets the hands through, barrel through. That ball's roped to left field. We don't have exit velo here, but you know that ball was smoked.
You pulled me aside pregame and you said, we need exit velo. So Omar Vargas is on with 2 outs in the first for Panama. And here's your guy, the Panamanian catcher, Ian Corrales. And we teased his nickname, El Tractorcito, the little tractor. They say because of his strength and probably most of all his ability to drive in runs.
I had the opportunity to work with El Tractorcito yesterday, doing some building blocks, working on the fundamentals with some of the kids before the game start. It was exciting for me because you could tell that he already had that presence. Like, I'm a team leader, I'm mature, and I'm excited to get started driving in some runs once these games get going.
Yeah, the coaches say that Ian is the vocal leader, and he's exuding confidence in the box in a 2-strike bind. Christoph Shallard deals on the ground, too short, and Androshek ends the inning. So a 0 on each side, and we are off and running at the Little League World Series. 10 U.S. teams here stateside, and then 10 international teams. And look at how far they have traveled, more than 40,000 miles combined to get here to South Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and embark on the Little League World Series from all over the place. And as Ravi told you off the top, Cuba is here for the first time, and they played today in the 3rd game of the day right here on ESPN at 5 o'clock Eastern time. They have some amazing stories and players and personalities on that team like we see from around the globe.
Yeah, that's the most, that part of it, us getting to learn the stories of these players, and Cuba's going to be a whole nother story, but just the opportunity to learn the background from some of these players is something that I'm so excited about throughout the whole 2 weeks that we're here.
So many great stories from around the world. Omar Vargas back to work with 73 miles an hour, which, if you're familiar with the Little League World Series, you love the conversion from Little League velocity to MLB velocity in the top left of your screen, right where the pitch count is. So 73 is 95, and a couple of those to start from Vargas to Aaron Nesnial. And Nesnial goes down swinging with a wooden bat.
You don't see that very often. Little League players bringing the wood into the batter's box, but that's something I'm going to keep an eye out for, because obviously he's comfortable using it. And it's going to have a different kind of feel coming off the bat, too, so that could be difficult for the defenders as well.
Yeah, plenty more on that to come. A bold move, and you got to love the confidence from Aaron Nesnial. So 4 up, 4 strikeouts for Omar Vargas, who now starts with strike 1. To Dominic Reznicek, 5-hole hitter and first baseman. I told you, he is the big guy on this team for the Czech Republic at 5'9". Oh, 2. That's high. Only the 18th pitch from Vargas. And he gets strike 3 called. 5 batters, 5 strikeouts for Omar Vargas. Hey, the excitement of the World Series can be downloaded in the new Little League World Series app. Fans can view schedules, watch highlights, and plan their experience using the official Little League World Series app. Download today for Apple and Android devices. Great crowd on hand here at Volunteer Stadium for the first game of this event. This is David Sabatka, second baseman, who was one of the heroes for the Czech Republic to even get here. He had bases loaded in the final of the regionals to get to this point, and David came through with a 2-run walk-off, and they had intentionally walked the man before him to load him up and get to Sabatka, and he delivered and came through to get this team from Brno, Czech Republic to Williamsport.
That's got to be a special feeling. Come through for your team in a big clutch situation. And now you're here.
And Omar Vargas is the obstacle. 2 perfect innings with 6 strikeouts. Boy, he looks locked in all business.
Hi everybody, Pepper Pursley here at the Grove. I'm super excited to just take you around, show you all the Little Leaguers and how much fun they're having. Welcome to the dining room. It's pretty empty right now. It seems like maybe we missed lunch, which is okay. We're gonna go find where the kids are. This is the game room we're going into, so a lot of ping pong, a lot of video games.
This is my favorite part. I love playing ping pong, meeting new people here. Got to learn some Spanish with him, some Japanese, and it's cool.
I have a pen. Anybody want to trade?
Oh yeah, I'm down. Mexico?
Sure, why not? Thank you. What do you enjoy most about being at the Grove?
Hanging out just with the team, playing baseball, best things ever.
Thank you all for joining me on my tour of the Grove. I had so much fun showing you all around. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Welcome back to the Little League World Series here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. As we head to the bottom of the second, Czech Republic and Panama scoreless alongside Pepper Pursley. I'm a very nervous Sebastian Salazar because, Pepper, it feels like you're coming for my job after I just watched that piece. Tell us a little bit about what you did, touring the Grove and all that, and what that experience was like for you.
Yeah, it was super fun. I mean, being able to come back since I was here last year, just doing the kids cast, being able to do more with the Little Leaguers was super fun. Because as a kid myself, that kind of stuff was really important to me, to be able to highlight kids. So it was amazing just being around them.
All right, maybe I shouldn't be that nervous because they said you're a mini Julie Foudy. So you're actually coming for Julie's job. So I'm a little bit relieved there. Tell me about the kids cast experience and what that was like.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that's really special. Not a lot of kids can say they broadcasted a professional baseball game. I think it's amazing. I think just the way I was able to see the major leaguers like work with the little leaguers too, that connection is really special. And yeah, I mean, it's an amazing experience. I'm super excited to do it again this year.
All right, so give us a little insight. What are you going to be doing the next couple weeks? Where can we see you?
Yeah, well, you can definitely see me here on ESPN. Features like that. I'll be talking to little leaguers, doing the kids cast on ESPN2 on Sunday. Yeah.
Pepper, very good. A little bit too good. I think, guys, Julie might be nervous for her work next year here at the Little League World Series.
Not just Julie, I'm nervous. X, you should be nervous. We had a production meeting last night. There were probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 members from ESPN and Little League there. No one got a louder round of applause than Pepper during the introduction.
I mean, what an addition to be able to have a kid that also relates with all the kids that are here. It only makes sense.
Trading the Mexico pins, coming late to lunch. You got to get there early, I think, to get the good food. We're in the bottom of the second in the first game of the Little League World Series. And this is Iker Sanchez, the third baseman for Panama, against Krzysztof Szalar, starting pitcher for the Czech Republic. On a spectacular day in Williamsport. Fouled away by Sanchez. Iker just turned 12 years old in June. Got a couple of 10-year-olds here, but mostly 12-year-olds. Handful of 11-year-olds as well here at the Little League World Series. Iker's favorite athlete is Steph Curry. He dreams of being a pilot one day. Waits on another 1-2. No, foul. How about the defensive alignment for the Czech Republic right now?
Yeah, there's nobody basically in center field. So you assuming they're pitching him outside. You saw a couple foul balls going to the right side. So that's how they're aligned, hoping he hits something on the opposite field.
And Szalar was working him away, leading toward the opposite field right there to make it 2-2.
These kids may have that early scouting report.
Szalar fires and just missed, and a full count on Iker Sanchez.
And if you're Panama, you got to be happy about the swings you took in the first inning. You're hoping to capitalize on that. Tracking the ball, coming up this next time around with these next three, hoping they get some good swings off.
Sanchez on the ground and just out of the reach of a diving Denis Androshek. And Iker Sanchez with a hard-earned single to lead things off for Panama in the home half of the second.
Yeah, and this is just a great at-bat. You talk about being able to track the baseball. You talk about fouling a couple off and then staying through the middle of the field. That's one thing as a young player we're taught, is to stay focused on hitting something right back through the middle, especially with 2 strikes. You want to be able to have your focus and sight set toward the middle.
Winning a 9-pitch AB. Brings up Sonny Guerra, right fielder, in the 6th spot for Panama. Sonny says his special talent is I perform good speeches. He's really smart. You saw his role model, Albert Einstein. Teammates are speaking of how smart and chatty he is. Coaching staff said he's the player that always solves the problems in the team, and he gets first place in school.
That's the focus, right? Make sure you take care of the studies first.
And for a team that clinched, like we told you back in February, a lot of the school year, they were getting ready with practice. So trying to balance it all before coming here to Williamsport. Iker Sanchez singled. Christophe Chalar's 2-1. Hot shot at second. Sobotka got 2.
How to play from Sobotka right there. First of all, that was a bullet hit to second base, but then the wherewithal to get up quick, transfer over, and throw it to first base. Check him out. Look how quick this is. He knew that he had that opportunity. And really, Sanchez wasn't even off the bag that much.
And how about Dominic Reznicek, the first baseman as well, getting back to the bag in time when that was fast developing.
Absolutely. And I told you from the jump, defense is going to be so important for this Czech Republic team because Panama's going to put the ball in play. They're going to hit some hard line drives, but as long as they can handle the baseball routinely, they'll be all right in this game.
We've seen fine defense from the Czech Republic. We've seen outfield shifts that make you think of all sorts of crazy advanced scouting. This is Edwins Lopez staring down a 1-1, and he pops this one foul to make it 1-2.
And Christophe on the mound, he's hitting his spots. You see the catcher setting up away. You mentioned the defensive alignment. They're trying to stay away and not allow Panama to get the barrel out in front and try to pull something. So for now, that alignment and that approach from a pitching standpoint is working.
Chalar trying to do more of that with a 1-2 that doesn't tempt Lopez enough. Chalar had a really nice pitching performance to get here. He told us the highlight for him this season was pitching against Spain. He said he enjoyed it a whole lot. That was part of the Europe-Africa region tournament a few weeks ago in Poland, where they had 11 countries there. And for Spain, a team from Barcelona that Christophe Chalar dealt against. Panama working counts in the second. 3-2 to Lopez. Misses. So Lopez works a 2-out walk and a base runner for Panama.
I like those spots right there from Christophe. I thought those were some good pitches. He stayed down in the zone. If you're going to miss there.
And you mentioned the power of the Panama heading. So trying to be tactful in how Christophe Chalar goes after them. Brings up Ian Vargas, no relation to Omar, and he takes strike one. Ian's nickname is Shaggy. Why? Because he owns a pair of Scooby-Doo socks. 0-1. 0-2 on Shaggy.
Do you have a pair of Scooby-Doo socks?
You know what? I think I left those at home. I do have some shoes that are approved by you.
Yes, thank God.
Look out. This one goes past Vargas, and Edwins Lopez advances 60 feet.
This is another area in which you have to keep an eye on in Little League. The pass balls, getting a guy in a scoring position is that much more important because allowing a base hit, it's easier for guys to score.
Well, Shalar comes back with a strikeout of Vargas, and backed by some defense from Sobotka. Czech Republic gets off the field.
Yeah, check my man out at second base. Sobotka makes this catch, quickly gets up, throws it over to first base. My man knows what he's doing when he gets the hot shot. Double him up.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by T-Mobile. Back in Williamsport, down to Sebastian.
Thank you very much, Mike. We got Marian Kostal up next for Czech Republic, and I got his parents, Mom Renata, Dad Roman, here with me. Tell me a little bit about what this experience has been like for you as a dad, getting to watch these boys play here in Williamsport.
Yeah, it's a very nice atmosphere. I like it because it's the very nice opportunity to be here, and especially I think it means big support and especially motivation for young children, for young and potential players for the future.
So when I think Czech Republic, I think, you know, ice hockey, soccer. How did your son get involved in baseball? Because you were telling me before it was a very early age.
He started in the 2019, played, and he was interested in the rules of baseball.
You guys were watching on TV together, right?
Yeah. We watched TV together, and he asked me, Father, taught me, can you explain me the rules? I go, yes, of course, obviously explained. And explained, and now he's playing.
And we also got Grandma here, is that correct, the whole family?
Yeah. Whole family is to support our son. So grandmother and grandfather.
All right, well, let's enjoy him here up at the bat. Guys, we send it back up to you.
Great stuff from Roman. And Renata proud of Marian Kostal, 12-year-old for the Czech Republic. Yeah, not bad having parents here, grandma here as well for this team from Brno, more than 4,000 miles away.
And what I took away from that, and I thought Sebastian did an amazing job, the thing was he wanted to learn the rules of the game. He wanted to understand the game after watching it. And I think one thing kids can continue to take away is that the more you watch the game, the more you'll be able to take into your play, the more you learn where you're supposed to be in certain situations. So continue to watch the game as you continue to develop and evolve as a player.
It's the best way to learn from afar.
Absolutely.
We're in the third, and Marian Kostal has fouled off a couple from Omar Vargas, who, if you're just joining us, the Panamanian starting pitcher, has faced 6 and punched out 6. 22 pitches the first 2 innings, and 12 of those 22 pitches swings and misses. Ooh, that one comes back on the home plate umpire. And he takes a moment. Stare down 70+ miles an hour from Omar Vargas.
That's the thing, is Vargas is throwing extremely hard. And the one thing I love too is he's attacking the strike zone. He's staying focused on throwing strikes. He's not messing around and trying to expand the zone too much. He's been aggressive early, and you gotta like that, especially if you're the defense of Panama. It keeps you on your toes. Obviously he's struck everybody out, but the one thing it does is keeps you on your toes when you're that aggressive early in the game.
Good to see Andy Pagan's all right. And ready to work behind the plate. 2-2 from Vargas, and Kostal strikes out. And Ian Corrales calmly delivers the throw down to first, something you worked on after strikeout number 7.
Yeah, this dude has just been amazing as far as the stuff, but what I picture and I see right now is his ability to be able to command and those strikes early in the count. When you don't get yourself deep in counts, you allow for more swing and miss, you allow for guys to stay off balance, and you're seeing him do it with the fastball and the off speed.
Now he faces Václav Menšík. And something to remember about Czech Republic offensively as well. Their manager, Arnaud Nesnial, said his team isn't used to seeing pitches faster than 55 miles an hour.
Right.
It's almost 20 miles an hour more what they're seeing from Omar Vargas.
Yeah, and it can be tough to kind of simulate that if you have not seen that. You can try to do it with the pitching machine, but until you get out there and see a pitcher throwing that hard with off speed mixed in, it's tough to have a good approach. And it's tough to be on time.
How do you gear up for the highest end of velocity at any level of baseball?
Yeah, as a hitter, you got to try to tell yourself to get ready earlier, whether that be your load, whether that be hand movement, you know, whether it be a toe tap, and it's going to be earlier than you feel comfortable getting ready. You have to almost be uncomfortable allowing yourself to get ready so early.
To the point where it feels odd to be preparing that far in advance.
Absolutely.
3-1 to Menšík. And he works a walk. So the Czech Republic has its first base runner against Omar Vargas. And a couple of good ABs here from Kostial and Menšík in the third.
And that's crucial for this Czech Republic team to, even though you've seen a lot of swing and miss stuff from Vargas, you still have to have good at-bats. Still stay focused on getting a pitch in the strike zone. And Menšík did a great job right there getting himself down to first base.
And now Andrej Šamanek, the right fielder for the Czech Republic. A reminder on pitch limits, pitch rest as well. For 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds, the pitch limit is 85 pitches per day. So anytime you got an ace dealing here in Williamsport, you start thinking about that as well.
And that's why it's so important to stay efficient with your pitch count. Knowing that, hey, if I can attack the zone and get these at-bats over with as quick as possible, I won't dig too deep into that count.
And you had said that had been the case for Omar Vargas the first couple of innings. Czech Republic making him work here. And then here's the rest required as well for different thresholds of pitches thrown in a day. Two-one. Cut and a miss from Šamanek. Panama with a win would play Friday against Venezuela. Loser of this one would play Saturday against whoever loses tomorrow between Chinese Taipei and Canada. 2-2. Another strikeout for Omar Vargas. 8 outs, all via the strikeout.
We got to check this out again. I mean, it's just pure heat, and then you get that slider mixed in with 2 strikes. It backed up a little bit, but it has so much bite that it's going to be tough to put barrel on that pitch.
Right, so we just talked about how do you deal with and prepare for the highest end of velocity that you see at this level. But then you got to worry about, as you had said even before he threw a pitch, multiple off-speed pitches.
Right, and he's not afraid to mix his stuff, and that's what we'll probably continue to see.
Get a look at Venezuela watching. Told you, winner of this one plays Friday against Venezuela, who has to wait around until Friday to play its first game. Well, they are watching Omar Vargas deal. He's facing Stepan Švec for the Czech Republic, and Vargas is 0-2, strikes out Švec. 9 Ks in 3 innings for Omar Vargas. Little League stats are provided by Game Changer, the official scorekeeping and stats technology partner of Little League and the Little League World Series. Game Changer now offers free live streaming for regular season local youth games, plus automatic video highlight clips when you stream and score your games. The mighty Susk in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. We are down here at Volunteer Stadium. Lamedy is on deck an hour from now with the first United States game. Here in the international bracket, the Czech Republic makes a pitching change ahead of this bottom of the third with no score. And Denis Ondrošek moves from short to the mound, replacing Krzysztof Schalar, who goes from the mound to short.
And I like this move, bringing Ondrošek in, kind of changing the look of things, right? You saw Panama start to get their timing going a little bit. Last couple of innings, hitting some balls hard. Now you give them a different look that might be able to keep them off balance.
39 pitches for Schalar, so the Czech Republic likely considering those implications and the rest required like we just showed you, and making this move. Isaac Vasquez is the batter, and it's quickly 0-2 from Ondrošek, who comes right over the top at you.
Yeah, and we talked about a different look. I mean, you get a guy that kind of has that ability to come over the top, almost like your Iron Mike pitching machine. It's going to be tough to stay off of balls up in the zone, but also I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a really good curveball.
The coaching staff says he's got a great arm. His 0-2 to Vasquez, strikes him out.
And this is what's going to make Ondrošek so tough, is a ball up top is going to look so good coming out of his arm slot. It's going to be tough for those Panama guys to stay off of it, but he'll look to continue to use that to his advantage.
I haven't checked Baseball Savant yet, but I think we're in at least the 90th percentile for spin rate on the four-seamer there from Ondrošek. What do you think?
I don't doubt that. And that's what makes it tough, right? When you see a ball that's kind of coming out, it looks so good up in the zone, it's tough to hold your swing up. But if, as a hitter, I got to tell myself, okay, get him down. It almost has to look like a ball down in the zone for me to be able to say, yes, I'm swinging at this.
Dennis's first time ever, he said, in the United States. This is popped up by Lucas Gonzalez at Krzysztof Schalar. And a couple quick ones for Ondrošek here in the third. So again, it's a continuous batting order if you're just joining us, new to Little League this year. So this is the 11th spot in the Panamanian lineup. Nassim Santos is playing left field. Really looks up to his brother Jonathan, who was Nassim's inspiration to play baseball. Jonathan's main sport was volleyball until he suffered a knee injury. But Nassim has carried on the athletic genes in the Santos family.
Thank you.
Ondrošek's 1-1. That's down, 2-1 the count on Nassim Santos.
And I'm glad you mentioned that about Santos, the inspiration to play baseball. That for all of us, it comes from so many different places. For me, it came from my father, but just being able to kind of learn the game at a young age and be passionate about it, it can come from so many different areas, whether you're watching it on TV, you see a brother doing it, having a good time, or you're kind of learning from a neighbor in the backyard. So many different ways we learn this game.
Yeah, this event is so special for these players from these 20 teams. But the stories of siblings or parents or a grandmother on the Czech Republic side who's here, those are pretty powerful as well. Two-two on the ground up the middle and just out of the reach of a diving Krzysztof Schalar. And Nassim Santos has a 2-out single for Panama in a scoreless game.
Great effort from Schalar right there, trying to get to that ball up the middle. He's getting dirty already today, but got to credit that at bat from Santos, being able to stay in there, work the middle of the field, got himself a base knock. Base runner with 2 outs here.
A hit in every inning for Panama. But so far they've been unable to crack through against the Czech Republic. And Alberto Venado goes first pitch swinging, and Václav Menšík makes quick work to end the third. Omar Vargas taking center stage today in Williamsport.
It's a huge deal to me. Almost every kid dreams to be here. When I first saw Lombardy, it was awesome. I thought the regionals field was awesome, but this is way better.
It started to sink in like, oh, we're the first team from North Dakota. Like, we just made history.
Sí fue un sueño realidad que se cumplió. Que el equipo se prometió desde el principio.
I've always wanted to play on that field since I was real little. I just imagined being there, and now the fact that it's a reality is just really exciting for me.
4 games a day for the next 8 days, and this is day 1 here at the 76th edition of the Little League World Series. Still 3 more games to come. Nevada, Rhode Island up at Lombardy Stadium. Japan, Cuba here in the nightcap, Texas, Pennsylvania. Mentioned it earlier, this is the first time that Cuba is here. Last year, the Little League World Series expanded to 20 teams. That was a decision made back in 2019, and that included providing 2 international teams with direct entry here. So, as a country, the way it is for, let's say, Japan or Mexico or Canada, and Panama is part of that rotation with Cuba as well, and those are the teams getting direct entry from their countries this year. And so Cuba here for the first time. They will have direct entry again next year. And it's the first time we've ever had a team from Cuba at the Little League World Series.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, and the cool thing to me is obviously Cuba's such a country rich in baseball. You know that they're going to be competing at such a high level. I'm excited to see those guys get out there and do their thing.
That's coming up against a Japanese Little League, specifically, that has won the entire Little League World Series before. Meanwhile, we're already into the 4th inning of this game. We are still scoreless, and Panama's stud arm Omar Vargas ready to throw his 45th pitch. He's generated 20 swings and misses so far into this game, and he's facing Dominic Cleaner.
I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see Czech Republic maybe try to lay down a bunt, just try to put something in play, see if the defense can handle something, whether that be the first baseman, third baseman, or pitcher.
Cleaner takes strike 3 called on 73 dotted, and now it's 11 batters faced, 10 strikeouts, and only 13 balls from Omar Vargas.
I mean, and you can just tell that Czech Republic hitters are having a tough time just seeing it out of the hand because it's exploding, and by the time it gets to home plate, it's almost too late, and they haven't made a decision.
Just 1 base runner against him, a 1-out walk issued last inning, and now a swinging strike 1 on Filip Stanka for the Czech Republic. Last year, the game high for any individual pitcher with strikeouts was 15. And Vargas well on his way with 10 now, and in a 2-strike count looking for 11.
And with 2 strikes, you're not going to do it, but I've got to try to, at some point, try to bunt, make him move off the mound, make him defend his position.
Strike 3 calls. 11 outs, all strikeouts for Omar Vargas.
Guys, we got Ilya Kolomets wearing the number 13 coming up to the plate for the team from Czech Republic. Amazing story. He's actually from the Ukraine. He's been a refugee since the conflict broke out. He and his mother, siblings had to flee the country. Actually, their father, his work is deemed part of critical industry, so he had to stay behind. Ilya and his family then spent the next 4 months in a refugee camp before they eventually made it to Brno. Ilya told me before the game, we had a chance to talk, that at that time he actually wondered if he'd ever play baseball again. You know, it'd been a huge part of his life back home. And actually, here's the good news, is it's a huge part of his, what you can imagine, a very difficult transition, and making that a little bit easier. Ilya says baseball helped him make tons of new friends in Czech Republic and get, as he put it, quote, something normal back into his life. You know, we can say baseball is just a game, but guys, for some of these kids, it really is a lot more.
at 11 years old. All of that over the last few years for Ilya.
Yeah, it really gives you the chills once you think about it. But the opportunity to be out here, be with his boys, it's got to be fun.
Meanwhile, more gas from Omar Vargas. A dozen outs. Yes, they are all still strikeouts for Panama. Track brought to you by Geico. 4 innings for Omar Vargas. 13 batters faced. 12 strikeouts. 14 balls thrown. So practically as many Ks as pitches not in the zone for the stud.
Yeah, I mean, attacking the zone is an understatement with what he's doing. One thing for me is now Panama has to find a way to scratch a run, get some guys on base, get something going offensively, because you don't want to get to a point to where Czech Republic starts figuring out Vargas and gets them an opportunity to get some guys on base and bring across a run.
And we've seen that through the years. You get a gem of a pitching performance, but the competition here is so good that you got to find offense as well to be able to back that up. We got a new pitcher, a third different arm for the Czech Republic. Originally at first base, Dominik Reznicek comes onto the mound. Arnaud Nesnial, the manager, told us he's got a strong arm there as well, in addition to a solid first base, which we've already seen, and power potential at the plate. 2-0 to Alan Rodriguez, and that's a strike to Rodriguez, whose dream job is to be a surgeon. Alan's older sister is a nurse, and he says he's learned a lot through her about medicine. Staring down a 3-1. Lines this one foul and a full count.
The good thing for Czech Republic and for Reznicek is that he gets the opportunity to understand his defense is doing great. They've been doing great all game. I don't have to try to strike somebody out and just make sure staying in the zone. Don't give away any freebies to this Panama team.
Breaking ball misses on a 3-2. And Alan Rodriguez is aboard to begin the bottom of the fourth for Panama. There's not even fastball counts in Little League anymore. We're snapping off 3-2 breaking ball.
A lot of confidence right there.
So man on for Aymar Lima. And he is the first guy to square to bunt, forcing Menchik in from third. Aymar at 4'9", 75 pounds, pushes it foul. He had one of the great lines about coming here to Williamsport, and you talked about the fields. Aymar was just marveling at the fields. He referred to the grass as looking like a capo de billar, a billiards table felt surface. That's smooth and perfect. 1-2 on it. Reznicek's 1-2, and he strikes out Lima. So Dominik Reznicek comes on. He's got the first down in the fourth.
A nice job of Reznicek by getting back into the count after walking the first batter. Does a good job of attacking, even though he sees Lima squaring around. Lima fouled off a couple, then he goes up in the zone, is able to get the swing and miss, get that first out of the inning for him.
So again, now all 14 Panamanian players on the roster have hit. And with one out in the bottom of the fourth now, this is the first time we go through Panama's lineup again and see someone bat for a second time in this ballgame with the new rule this year. So back to the top for Francesc Rodriguez. Grounded to short his first time, and he's ahead 2-0.
And you got to think that the switching up of the pitchers for Czech Republic had to be a part of the strategy, right? You get to a point now the second time around, this team doesn't get to face, Panama does not get to face the same guy they saw in the first inning.
And looking forward in the tournament, if you don't have one guy throwing, let's say, 70+ miles an hour, that upper echelon of velocity that we see year after year here,
right,
why not roll out a lot of very good arms and try to provide different looks, like you said, for the hitters and keep everyone fresh?
Especially if you're Czech Republic and you got guys that can throw strikes, right? A lot of times in Little League, you're switching a lot of pitchers, you'll get to guys that aren't really throwing strikes.
My man Francesc Rodriguez is hoping to be a distraction. A little more subtle this time. And Francesc works a walk. So Alan Rodriguez walked. Francesc Rodriguez walks as well, with some funk in the box from Francesc.
Yeah, this is rhythm. This is a part of the routine. Look at my man shaking the bat. Now that is not something you were taught. That's something you just develop yourself when you know you're going to take a pitch.
Tak pojď na jedna, jo? Šup. Tak mám všechny? Tak pojď. Sázej strajky, jo? Sliv tady tohle mi dej. This? Bost. Okay.
So the manager, Arnaud Nesnial, comes out and makes the move. And now a fourth different Czech Republic pitcher is David Saborka. And part of the strategy again. So new arm, couple of walks, give a different look to this Panamanian lineup now the second time through for the Panama Bats.
Right, it's just crucial just to continue to try to throw strikes. Don't give away free opportunities for base runners for Panama. Let your defense continue to work. That's been one of the bright spots of this game for Czech Republic. Try to get yourself a ground ball, see if you can get a double play and get out of this inning.
Well, hey, next door coming up at the top of the hour, 3 o'clock Eastern time. The boys from Henderson, Nevada are here against Smithfield, Rhode Island. Our first United States game of the day up at Lamade Stadium to get it started on the U.S. side. And here's where we've got our 10 teams stateside from. Maine, Rhode Island, here in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Tennessee back again. As Ravi told you, Randy Huth, the manager. Texas, far and wide out west in Seattle. And for the first time, a team from North Dakota as well. All right, so 2 on. This is the best threat that Panama has had to this point. 2 spot in the lineup, the shortstop, Ruben Canto. Grounded to second his first time. And it's a ball and a strike from David Saborka. One and 2.
If you're Canto here, don't try to get overly anxious. Don't try to get too big. Try to get yourself an opportunity for a strike. Put good barrel on it. Good things will happen.
And how about David Saborka coming into this spot in this game? 4'10", 70 pounds. The 12-year-old who coaching staff has called him the little big man. His manager, Arnaud Nesnial, says he's our smallest player, but again, came through with the biggest performance, the walk-off to get here. And on top of that, they say he's a cold-blooded pitcher. He's dealing with 2 aboard in the 4th. 1-2 to Cato. Drops it in and just misses. 2-2.
It's a good off-speed pitch right there, changing up the speed on him. For Canto, you got to look for that again.
6th pitch, and Cato on a line in the left field, a base hit. A stop sign for Rodriguez at third, and Panama's got him loaded.
Nice job there by Ruben Canto, staying back on an off-speed pitch on the outer part of the plate. Just gets enough barrel on it to rope it there to left field, but really nice job being able to stay back on that baseball. Bases loaded now for a guy you want up.
And look who it is. Omar Vargas, who has struck out a dozen and now bats with the bases loaded. Vargas in the air. Center field to the wall and a slam. Omar Vargas. Oh my.
You see the emotion, you see the energy. Vargas is already doing it on the mound. He is cooking today. You get an opportunity with bases loaded. He's not waiting around. He knows that off-speed pitch is coming. He sees it, stays back, gets the barrel through, and my man just went up top to dead center to put his team ahead 4-0. Grand salami time.
Remember the name, folks. Omar Vargas. 4-zip Panama just like that. You were wondering, hey, can they get a run for Omar Vargas, the pitching version? Well, he gives himself 4. Ian Corrales, the batter, squibs one off the end of the bat back at Sabatka for out number 2.
I mean, the aggressiveness from Vargas there, it tells you how mentally prepared he was in that situation. He wasn't going to wait around, try to guess what pitch he was going to get. My man was sitting back, knew the off-speed was coming, and he did not miss. Sent it right back where it came from, but a good 350 feet from the mound.
Now Iker Sanchez rolls one to short, and Krzysztof Szylar ends the inning. Guys, it's Omar Vargas's world. We're just living in it.
And we got to take this one back. Check out my man. Off-speed pitch coming, balanced. Let it come through. Stay back. Big boy fly to center field. Grand slam.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by T-Mobile. Day 1 in Williamsport, another year at this wonderful event, and a star's been born, but we have news. Omar Vargas is off the mound after 4 innings of no-hit ball, just the one base runner, and you see the dozen strikeouts. He goes over to shortstop, and Ruben Canto comes in from short to pitch, and you saw the pitch count at 53. When he started his last at-bat, he was one threshold even lower. So because of that, he needs now just 2 days rest before he can pitch again. So he'd be eligible to go as early as Saturday, which with a win, winner would play Friday against Venezuela. Loser plays on Saturday. So that's always part of the thinking here.
You got to think that this is a good thing for Czech Republic, right? You get opportunity to see somebody different. Maybe you're able to get your timing down a little bit better against Canto, and maybe you can start putting some balls in play here.
Alongside Xavier Scruggs and Sebastian Salazar, I'm Mike Monaco. Our entire crew behind the scenes led by Scott Gustafson and Dan McVan. I just said to you in the commercial break too, an 18 strikeout no-hitter with a grand slam. Would that be the greatest game ever played? It's got to be, right?
Would have to think.
So now Ruben Canto played a big part in setting the stage for Omar Vargas. Had the single right before the slam. And we'll get a visit from Ian Corrales with Krzysztof Szylar leading off for the Czech Republic atop the lineup. Christoph said the travel to get here to Williamsport was long. They flew from Prague to Frankfurt to New York City and then a bus here to Williamsport. Shorter distance to get down to the first as we check in with Sebi.
Thanks, guys. Omar Vargas just hit the grand slam. I got his mom, Virginia, here with us. Virginia, qué momento. Cuéntame un poco de tus emociones al ver el jonrón de tu hijo.
Lloré. Es una emoción demasiado grande ver a mi hijo ahí parado. Esa era la ilusión de él. Venir a Williamsport, jugar este mundial. Una emoción muy grande.
You can hear it in her voice. She said there was immediate tears, a huge emotion to watch her son complete his dreams and play here at the Little League World Series in Williamsport. Virginia, este torneo, este evento, ¿qué significa para tu hijo? I want to get a sense of what it means to her, her family, and her son.
Este es el sueño anhelado de él. Él todo el tiempo me decía, mamá, yo quiero jugar en Williamsport. Yo quiero ir a ese mundial.
He said it's been a dream from a very young age. He told his mother, I want to play in Williamsport, and here he is at the Little League World Series. ¿Qué me cuentas de este equipo? Let's get a sense of the team here from Panama. ¿Cómo son los padres y cómo es el equipo? Se ven bien unidos, ¿no?
Todos somos unidos, tanto el equipo, los técnicos, los papás. Somos de verdad una familia bien unida.
She says the team is very unified, from the players to the coaches to the parents. They are truly a family, and right now that family needs 4-0. Guys, we send it back up to you.
So Omar Vargas called a shot that he wanted to play here someday. He gets here, he comes out, 4 hitless frames, a dozen Ks and a grand slam. Not bad.
I think that's what's so cool about the Little League World Series is, you know, so many 12-year-olds are sitting in their Little League before this gets going and thinking that they have an opportunity to be here one day. And I remember back playing Little League, like, that's all you think about is maybe my team can get to the Little League World Series one day while you're sitting in the dugout, popping your Bubblicious, doing your seeds. You know, all those things, all those memories, it reminds you of that opportunity to get to one place that may seem untouchable, but everybody dreams to be there.
I remember growing up in Massachusetts, watching Saugus Mass get here, go on a run. And they were a couple years older than me, and I thought, that is the greatest thing I've seen in baseball. And I want to get there 2 years from now.
Right.
0-1 to Dennis Androshek. And it's 0-2 from Ruben Canto.
That's the cool thing about this event is we can all remember those days, whether it be 11, 12, 10 years old when we first started playing a sport. It doesn't even have to be just baseball. Those memories that you start thinking of.
Flip to second, and the strong arm of Vargas hit short, not fast enough to get Androshek. Find Little League on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the official handles at Little League. Follow the action and join the conversation with the hashtag LLWS. It's the first ball in play from Czech Republic offensively. You said Vargas out of the game. That's a welcome change for them. Now to the cleanup spot, and Aaron Nesnial using that wooden bat, not the aluminum, here at the Little League World Series. Says he has tried using aluminum bats, but they just don't feel right for him. And again, his dad, the manager, Arnos Nesnial, says they just feel right for Aaron, and they think it'll help him become a better hitter down the road.
My man is swinging old hickory too. Like, that's a big league bat. That's what I was swinging back in the day.
Runner goes, and Ian Corrales' throw does not get him. Androshek moves up 60 more with some smart base running.
Yes. Give credit to Androshek being able to recognize the ball getting away after he got to second base, picking up that it was far enough to where he could advance over to third. Very smart base running.
So now a man at third for Aaron Nesnial. Aaron's father, Arnos, named him Aaron after Hank Aaron.
Wow.
Nesnial trying to drive in on Droshek with 2 outs in the 5th. That's down. Good block by your boy Ian Corrales.
It's a great block right there, and a great take also, recognizing a pitch down in the zone, not being overly aggressive. Got an opportunity with the runner on third to drive him in, put your team on the board. You got to still be selective here in a full count.
Ruben Canto's payoff pitch. Bends in for strike 3 called. Canto replaces Vargas, leaves a man at third. He sent his mother into immediate tears. Omar Vargas, 12 strikeouts plus a grand slam.
Yeah, he's been absolutely, he was filthy on the mound. My man was getting so many swing and misses, you didn't know if anybody was going to actually touch the baseball. And then my man put the helmet on with bases loaded and said, let me smell this ball later to dead center. He doing it on the mound, did it on the mound, and did it at the plate. Unreal.
Let's meet Omar Vargas, brought to you by Dollar Car Rental. El Cappy, we told you, the captain of this team. Big fan of Messi. And like Messi, Omar Vargas now stateside and stepping up on the big stage. So 2 days of rest required for him pitching wise. So down Thursday and Friday, could come back as early as Saturday for Panama. Another pitching change for the Czech Republic. Filip Žohorek comes on. Before this trip to get from Brno, Czech Republic to Williamsport, he had never been on a flight before. So a great first for Filip, and now pitching here at Volunteer Stadium. And coming home with some arm side run to start out Sonny Guerra.
Maybe a little two-seam action right there from Žohorek. And he was smiling before he started pitching too. You know he's out here having a good time. My man, you mentioned he took his first flight. You think about how much fun that is as a 12-year-old. You flying sky high with your boys, going to the Little League World Series. Come on.
Life's good for Phil. His grandfather was a former European champion in the high jump, so Philip's got good bloodlines. He's from a baseball family as well. His brother plays the game too. Sonny Guerra hit it hard his first time at second, back in the second inning. We were talking last inning about how so many youngsters watching right now dream of being here, playing here one day. Sonny Guerra in the box right now. He says it was the same for him when he was a child. He used to see the games on TV with his father and has loved it ever since. On a drop third strike, he takes off and reaches base for Panama to begin the bottom of the 5th, up by 4. Filip Žohorek's got to get his arm sleeve off before continuing on as a pitcher. We love the swag. The gear is great, but you can't have the sleeve on the mound.
Not so much on the mound.
Distracting for a hitter?
Yeah, possibly, especially, you know, different colors and whatnot.
Now Edwins Lopez takes ball 1 to start from Žohorek. Coaching staff praises the hands of Edwins Lopez. That's what manager Oliver Arcia said. Good contact bat, and as the smile indicates, Edwins is always positive. Very young coaching staff, by the way, for Panama. Arcia is 26. The assistant coaches, Alejandro Quintero and Melquisedec Guevara, 25 and 24. Two and two.
Mike, you and X were talking about back in the day, they used to have to check the birth certificates on X. I think they might have to do that for this Panamanian coaching trio. I think it's a combined age of 75. They've been best friends forever. They were telling me before the game they've been buddies since elementary school. No surprise they didn't meet in a classroom. They met, of course, on a baseball diamond. Over 20 years of friendship. Oliver's a manager. He took the team over a few years ago. He and Alejandro actually run an academy together, and 7 players on this team play in that academy. Melky joins the fun, and they were telling me they hang out like all the time away from baseball. Just a classic crew of 20-something bachelors, lots of beach time. They love to cook out, and right now their boys cooking up a W here in Williamsport.
Cookouts at the beach. Life is good. That's a strikeout for Johoric. He's got 2 of them, and there's 1 away. This week, Sunday Night Baseball heads here to Williamsport for the 6th annual MLB Little League Classic across that historic Bowman Field, 7 miles away from here where the kids are playing. And it's the series finale between the Phillies and Nationals, 7 Eastern here on ESPN, and also on ESPN Deportes with a special Kids Cast edition over on ESPN2. Our coverage starts 6 Eastern with baseball tonight. Sunday Night Countdown. 3 future broadcast stars, the voices of the game on that Kids Cast edition. Pepper and company. You heard from her earlier. They'll be taking center stage. So this is Ian Vargas with 1 out and 1 on for Panama, up by 4, facing Philip Johoric.
I've really been impressed with Czech Republic and their ability to throw strikes. You think back to the first inning, even the second inning, Panama putting some balls hard in play. We thought maybe it might be tough for them from a pitching standpoint, but they've been able to stay in this game by throwing strikes and letting the defense work. Each guy that's come in, it's almost like they've been able to keep that momentum going.
Ian Vargas got hit by the pitch from Johoric.
Just rides a little high and tight, catches the forearm there. Still got an opportunity with any base here.
Isaac Vasquez gets out of the way of the first. You weren't kidding about the sinkers from Johoric. He's got a lot of movement. Get a mound visit here. Manager Arnaud Nesnial comes out to chat with Philip Johoric.
Pojďte do áže, jo? Ano, pojď. Jo, pojď dolů, ať se prostě rovnáš. Tak pojď rovně, jo? Jeden, pojď ze strajky a sázej to tam, jo? Hej, ta točka není vše spásná, jo? Jeden. Pojď to užít, dívej, pojď se na ty lidi a pojď to užít, jeden.
And he puts his son on the mound. Aaron Nesnial takes over for the Czech Republic. We'll step aside and then back to Williamsport, day 1 at the Little League World Series. Back at the Little League Baseball World Series presented by T-Mobile. We remind you the Slam Ball summer schedule finishes up tomorrow with the championship game, part basketball, part football and hockey in a cage with trampolines. Tune in at 11 Eastern here on ESPN and as well on ESPN Plus. Another pitching change for the Czech Republic. And X, you were making this point. It's been a really cleanly played game by the Czech Republic outside of one swing from the biggest star you might see over the next 2 weeks here in Williamsport. They've played very well.
Absolutely. I look on both sides. The defense has been on point. That was one thing I was checking out earlier before the game starts. Both these teams take infield. They make the throws, they make the plays defensively. And then coming into this game, I'm wondering, okay, are the nerves going to get to either one of these teams? But you've seen there've been a lot of nice plays being made and a lot of mental focus out there on the defensive side.
1-1 to Isaac Vasquez. Bunts it foul. Yeah, for the Czech Republic, it's only the 3rd time a team from the entire country is here in Williamsport. Also here in 2013, and then the very next year in 14 as well. And for this Little League, South Czech Republic Little League in Brno. Here for the first time. Well, it's a strikeout for Nesnial. And the second one for Czech pitching this inning. And there's 2 gone.
It's a good little off-speed pitch here. He comes in, he's throwing strikes, mixes in the curveball. It's tough to put barrel on right there. Nice job being able to put him away.
So 2 down, and Nesnial trying to keep this deficit at 4 with 2 aboard. First pitch swinging. Lucas Gonzalez back to the mound. And Aaron Nesnial unfazed. We go to the 6th. Czech Republic trying to get the bats going. The Little League Baseball World Series on ESPN is presented by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Getting it all started in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, Panama, and the Czech Republic in the first game of the entire event. 37 more games to come before a couple of Sundays from now we crown a World Series champion. New arm on the Panama side after Ruben Canto came on for the 5th behind Omar Vargas. Now it's Alan Rodriguez who will try to finish things off for the Panamanians. 3 outs away from starting with a W.
Rodriguez's job, just come in, throw strikes. Don't mess around. If they need to put it in play, let the defense work. Keep the momentum going for your team right now by attacking the zone.
Dominik Reznicek in the 5-spot bats for the Czech Republic to lead things off. They've been held hitless so far. They've worked a couple of walks, got a man aboard last inning as well with a fielder's choice. Had a stolen bag and threatened on the base paths, but held hitless to this point. One. Curls in for a strike. And time ahead of a 1-2 from Alan Rodriguez.
The box. 1-2. Quick.
Fouled away.
It's a good cut right there, staying on that pitch.
Oh, sorry, it went going.
That's another thing. Once you get to this level 2, and we've seen it now with Rodriguez here on the mound in the 6th, all these guys got off speed. They all got curveball sliders, and they're all usually pretty good.
Alan Rodriguez fires. A good stop back there by Corrales with, again, a diverse pitch mix.
Right, and as a hitter, you know, you think about these 11, 12-year-olds, you have to have an approach, right? You have to understand 2 strikes. I got to just try to put this ball in play. I know a lot of off speed comes, but at the same time, fastballs, I got to stay away from them up in the zone with high velocity here at the Little League World Series. That's what impresses me most, is you see these hitters at a young age have an approach against some tough pitching.
And Dominik Reznicek has run it full, and now the 7th pitch he sees, he stays alive against the slider.
And I think why it impresses me most, because when I was 11 and 12, I didn't have no approach.
No.
I was up there, if it's close, I'm swinging.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now these kids got leg kicks. They staying back. Their load is on point.
8th pitch from Rodriguez to Reznicek. And he works a hard-earned free pass. So that is the 3rd walk coaxed by Czech Republic hitting in search of that first hit and trying to stay alive here in this first game of the tournament.
Well, even now, you think about the momentum going into next game. Whether you win or lose, if you can take some momentum going into the next game as far as an offensive side of the ball, that's going to help you. So you want to continue to try to have those good at-bats here.
David Sabatka. takes strike one. His second AB of the ball game. We told you the hero for the Czech Republic to get to Williamsport. He had the big hit to walk it off with the bases loaded. Assistant coach Marian Krasny said there were huge emotions in that moment in celebration. Many tears. He said endless joy after David's hit. Alan Rodriguez is 0-2. Strike three called. One away in the sixth.
Get another look at this one. This one catches the outer half of the plate. Just painted right there, doing his best job of imitating Picasso. Hey, keep your eye on Corrales behind home plate. He's been looking to back pick somebody at first. Every time they've had somebody over there, I know he's looking to show off that arm.
Super fundamentally sound back there. You spent time with him yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was really cool. A guy that we got to work with. We did some plays to where we saw pass balls and he would work on throwing it down to first. An extremely strong arm for a catcher. Really composed, mature. It was a lot of fun working with them yesterday.
Part of this Panama team that, again, clinched a spot here back in February. Had to wait half a year for the prize. And now they are one out away from a dub. Well, this is only the appetizer. 3 more games to come here in Williamsport on the first day. Second game on deck. The boys from Henderson, Nevada against Smithfield, Rhode Island up at Lamade Stadium. Getting ready for that a few minutes from now. That was the 16th strikeout by Panamanian pitching. And now ball one to start out. Václav Menšík. And still nary a hit for the Czech Republic.
Right now you're just trying to grind out another good at bat for Czech Republic. Menšík trying to do a good job of getting a pitch in his zone.
Panama as a country has 2 no-hitters in Little League World Series history, in 04 and in 1993. And now in the first game of this event here in 2023, Alan Rodriguez trying to get them to the finish line with a 1-1. Down and away to Menšík. Worked a walk his first time. Cut and a miss, and it's 2-2. Omar Vargas started it. 4 hitless frames, punched out 12, has hit a grand slam. Then it was Ruben Canto in the 5th, and now Alan Rodriguez in the 6th with 2 outs. A 2-2, swung on and missed. Corrales cannot get it there in time, so it's a strikeout, but still only 2 outs here in the 6th.
The Czech Republic gets an opportunity to stay alive here.
They have found their way on a couple of times with a drop third strike. And now Andrej Šamanek takes strike 1. Panamanian pitching has held the Czech Republic to just 1 ball in play in these 5 2/3. And now it's 0-2 from Alan Rodriguez. Oh, 2 pitch. Struck him out. It's It's a no-hitter for Panama.
And if you're Panama, you got to be feeling good, obviously, about the whole day. Look at, they did a great job to put some runs on the board. Omar Vargas going deep fly center field for a grand salami. Pitching-wise, did an amazing job to start this game, and defensively, they were on point today. Really clean game played by Panama today.
How about this? Only 4 times in big league history has a player struck out 10 or more as a pitcher and hit a grand slam. That's what Omar Vargas did today for Panama, and his teammates picked him up with a no-no. Coming up next here on ESPN, the Little League World Series continues with Nevada and Rhode Island with Ravi, Jess, and Julie. For X and Sevi and our entire crew down at Volunteer Stadium, Mike Monaco saying so long up to Ravi.